Welcome back, Tribe. We got an episode here from a local news station, says defining black fatigue. So this stuff is going viral recently. Of course, you've seen probably tons of reactions to it, but let's get into it.
Black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people. The claims of racism from sunup to sundown, loud talking, fighting, and the list goes on. Not my list now, keep that in mind. But some people are tired of the complaints and don't give a damn. Here's what one TikTok user had to say about it.
Not racist, and I know y'all have been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call Black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. Me, but me and other Black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to when y'all keep coddling Black people.
All righty. Are her feelings valid? Joining us to talk about it, Dr. Angela Jones, political analyst, Angela Box, activist, Eugene Howard, filmmaker Sean Welling, and conservative M. Williams. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor. First of all, let's define what Black fatigue is supposed to be, Dr. Jones.
Black fatigue is supposed to be just and I'm trying to make it as short as possible. Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how Black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past on what's happening today. And they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well. As she said, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public. So that's basically the definition in the.
No, it isn't. She got it completely wrong. Everybody's talking about hood booger activities. That's what it is. If you know the ghetto hood culture, loud, obnoxious, making a scene, disrespectful, disturbing the peace, causing problems, fights, shootouts, shit like that, emotional train wrecks wherever they go, super reactive, just ignorant in general, ignorant behavior. Now, what everybody's saying when they say Black fatigue, because you'll get called racist from basically two classes of people, the hood boogers, who engage in this kind of behavior, and then white liberals, mostly women. For some reason, you'll see this on social media. There's deranged white women that are absolutely latching onto this issue and becoming like the white savior and trying to apologize on the behalf of white people. And then you got the actual hood boogers themselves engaging in this kind of activity. Think of Latondre and Quantishas. You know what I mean when I say shit like that. This isn't just the white people are tired. Asians are tired. Other Blacks are tired. Everybody, all other Hispanics are tired. It doesn't matter. There's a certain people, hood boogers, and these hood boogers exist from all races, by the way. There's like hood booger versions of white people, of poor Asian people, of Hispanic people. We hate loud, obnoxious, rude, disrespectful people that cannot behave out in public and cause a scene and destroy the atmosphere. This is what we're talking about. It's just really predominant in Black culture because it dominates Black culture from movies to music, like rap and all that stuff. It's actively pushed in the Black community. So hood boogerness has spread and become the main way to, quote, behave. It's the main messaging that they're pushing. So it dominates the community. But for hardworking Blacks that make a good living, that don't act like hood boogers, and don't engage in that kind of shit anyways at all, they're also sick of it. And they're getting the short end of the stick because here's the issue. From the outside in, we're all looking at this and go, well, I can't tell if I'm looking at two Black people and one is acting like a hood booger and one's an upstanding citizen that works hard and just is like everybody else. Just on the superficial level, you don't know. So you're going to get labeled or thrown into the same basket as everybody else. And everybody's tired of this foolishness. And the ones that are getting this the worst are actual Black people, the upstanding ones that have to deal with family members like this, people in their own community like this, because they have the closest proximity to the hood booger mentality. This is all it is.
A short sense.
Do we get anywhere with that, with this conversation?
No, this absolutely.
Okay, good night, folks.
I mean, the thing is, it's an absolutely pointless conversation. It's like, okay, so now what? Thank you for letting us know that there's a new fancy word of you saying that you're tired of Black people. Mm-hmm. And and you put it on the internet, and now people are co-signing on it, including with the way the environment is already. But it's okay. You put a nice new name to it, and now you feel like it's okay to say. And it's not going to do anything for anybody to now pander this term around, to pass it on in the internet and put it in people's mouth and make people feel encouraged to say, I have Black fatigue. But when we're all tired, when I'm saying, we're all tired of something and somewhere, there's always something. Mm-hmm. So this is not actually.
Yeah, but you can't look at social media and say, where are the white people doing this XYZ video you see? Where are the Asians doing this? Where are the Hispanics doing this? It's a very specific group of people doing a very specific thing within a community. The hood boogers. They have a specific behavior. Now it's dragging down the rest of the image of the rest of the Black community, and that's unfortunate. But they're denounced by normal, upstanding citizens that happen to be Black. They don't want to be a part of that. They don't want the first thing they do when you get money is you get out of the hood. Why? Because you want to get away from the hood mentality, that booger mentality that keeps you poor, keeps you trapped. This is what it is. Anybody, I lived in Atlanta, bro. I went to school. Most of my friends were Black. Most of my friends were selling dope or coke or whatever it was by 8th grade. Some were carrying guns. I've seen it all. Went to school with like Migos and all that. I grew up in Gwinnett County. I'm from that area. I've chilled in downtown Atlanta. I know what it's like. Hood boogers, they're everywhere. And nobody's mama wants you to hang out with any of these kids. And they tell you to stay away from the older kids on the corner doing what they're doing, or don't go to that block party, or don't do this. I've seen it myself. Nobody wants you to end up in that kind of lifestyle because you'll end up dead or in jail. It's that simple. So hood booger activities don't give you a good quality of life. Nobody wants their kid, as you're already struggling in the hood trying to escape. Nobody wants their kid to get trapped there. This is all we're saying. It's not all. It's just some. But it happens to almost always be them is what is happening here. Not always, but always. It's not everyone, but always that kind, right? This is the conversation. You just saying that out loud, it's like we're sick of everything that they're listing here. The victimhood mentality that just probably, like, you can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm talking about. Guys living in Atlanta, you know what I'm talking, especially with Black women. There's nothing. You cannot tell me shit. You understand? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. That's the attitude people are getting sick of, man. Because I guess with the liberals that were in charge for the last 10 years or so, barring Trump's administration, but it was still super woke then too. Society has gone super woke, super apologist, super like white guilt, all this stuff. So you can't even correct someone's bad behavior because it's automatic racist. It's not the fact that you're just correcting bad behavior. They happen to be Black. It's like, oh, no, but it's because I'm Black. But it isn't. You're just acting ignorant. Doesn't matter what color your skin is. Ignorant is ignorant. And that's just all people are saying. We're getting fatigued, tired of the ignorance. That's it, man. It's not that we're tired of Blacks. Nobody's saying like there's a problem with Black people. There's a problem with ignorant people that just happens to be Black. And society is propagating or pushing out into society that kind of ignorant culture, which is screwing it up for the rest of the people that are normal.
Going to help anyone psychologically, mentally, emotionally. It's only going to create more divisiveness, more anger, and more hate in society.
And when we see a lot of people, especially Black people, joining that chorus, saying that I'm tired of Black people too, what will that do?
It's not going to do anything, because here's the thing. That Black person or the Black people that are on the internet saying that can go somewhere and they're going to be already stereotyped into the group that they're trying to separate themselves from just because they're Black.
That's the problem.
You actually have to be around people to see their behavior. You have to witness their behavior to actually understand who they are. But she could sit there and be in a crowd of a room of Black people, and guess who she's going to be included in that group as well.
Exactly. That's the problem. This is what they're fighting against. The people in the Black community are fighting against being labeled these things because of the ignorant few. This is exactly the problem that Black people are having when they say I'm Black and have Black fatigue. Literally, I think this first comment says the Black gentleman is literally the epitome of Black fatigue manifested in human form. I'm Black, and I see somebody like that, I just walk the other way. There is no expectation of having an actual intellectual conversation. It's frankly impossible. Why?
She's not doing anything that is going to help her or her race at this time.
All right, Angela, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this Black fatigue.
Well, with all due respect to Angela, number one, I really disagree with this. It is a completely behavior-based issue. And when white people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people, we've all seen it. We all know what it is. It's everywhere. And, the issue is way more insidious than people realize. And I talk about how a lot of these things come back to what the Democrat Party has done to the black community purposefully, starting with the Great Society of Lyndon B. Johnson, who he famously said, I'm going to have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. When Democrats said you don't need fathers in the home, you can be on welfare and have as many babies as you want. And oh, by the way, we're going to destroy public schools and we're going to make sure that behavior standards are seen as racist. So the out of control behavior that we've seen in the classrooms, in society, all over is part and parcel of what the Democrat Party has done to the black.
And also taking fathers out of the home, which is a huge problem in the black community. You don't think that affects them majorly, growing up without a father, especially being in an environment that's extremely violent and heightened emotionally? Every day could be your last, or everybody's mean mugging, or, there's always some problem. Everybody's starving, looking to get a one up on each other, right? You got to join gangs to survive this kind of shit. Like, of course, and your father's not present to help guide you, and you're raised by a mother who's super emotional, talks, the feminine energy placed in a man's body leads to these kinds of problems. The black on black violence, the insane crime statistics, assaults, all that shit. What is that? That's fathers missing from the home with mothers raising boys to be emotionally on basically a woman's level, but with the physicality and the consequences that a man can rot on society. That's insane. Nobody talks about that part, though.
All right, Eugene, let's hear from you before we have to take a break.
Man, why are we all what does the Democrat Party have to do with black fatigue?
Everything.
Hold on. Okay, first of all, I think he asked Eugene. So last time I checked, I'm Eugene on stage. So
activist.
The Democratic Party has nothing to do with black fatigue. What the original term from the actual black community of black fatigue was after every other community decided to vote. Since you want to talk politics, Donald Trump, then black folks said, we're going to sit this one out. We're going to let this thing burn down and we're going to go have a good time because we're tired.
He's not even talking about what she just addressed. He's now trying to redefine black fatigue to steer the conversation in a different direction. He's got the hood booger regalia on. He's got a bunch of gold chains to show he's an activist. This hood booger mentality right here. You can't even have a conversation. That's why this dude right here said there's no expectation of having an actual intellectual conversation with this dude. And everybody in the comments is probably, as a black straight male, I'm tired of my people's reckless behavior, playing victim and racism. Okay, so let's hear the redefinition and complete dodging of accountability.
We have been struggling. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-great
there goes the victimhood mentality, typical, bro. Raised in a single parent household, you could tell.
Great-grandparents have been fighting this same fight. So if you guys want to turn around, he said the N-word. Why don't you guys feel so comfortable? Just say it. Just go ahead and say the N-word. We're if it's so okay.
You see this right here? Pause. Did you see this? Black fatigue. Embarrassed. She's looking like black fatigue. She don't even want to hear it. She's just like, I can't believe this.
Fatigue. If you don't want to recognize where we're
look at everybody. Everybody's just listening to him rambling on, and then look at the moment.
If it's so okay, if you're so fatigued, if you don't want to recognize the civil rights plight, go ahead and say the N-word. No one's stopping you. It's a free country,
I don't
right?
need show, Eugene.
I mean, I'm just
about
saying.
to lose me my show.
but that's my point. It's a lot of things that they want to use code words, whether it's DEI, whether it's black fatigue. They just want to be able to say the N-word without being able to say the N-word.
So do you not find certain behaviors objectionable? Or you think it's cool?
Listen, I live in a real community. I see a whole bunch of unruly white folks, Hispanic folks. So it's not just the black community, but we always want to emphasize on black when it's negative.
All right, we'll take a break there. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue our discussion after the break. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We continue our discussion on black fatigue tonight. The feeling involves the stress that some black people deal with when it comes to constant exposure to racism. But there are people on both sides and inside and outside the black community who say they are tired of hearing about it. Our guests are back here on The Factor. Emenderlin, let's begin with you. As a conservative, your thoughts about black fatigue.
Well, whether you like black fatigue as a name or not, it's the truth. Like, We're tired of the victimhood mentality, the
Preach.
trauma identification, the need for external, agreement. That's ridiculous. That's terrible for the Black community right now. That's terrible for the children growing up. I mean, there's so many broken homes, and I think that's the core foundation. Number one, I believe the core foundation is that the parents failed to not only
Preach.
unify the home, but also failed to put true identity in God in the children. So if you don't have identity in God, you don't have identity at all. That's number one.
Do you at all see the Black community as a lost cause or just some
Absolutely not.
individuals? What?
I don't believe the Black community is a lost cause at all. I just believe that we need to stop as a whole with all of this complaining. We need to move past the past and, become better. As an American, my parents were actually Nigerian. They came here in the 80s and they grew up here. They had me and my brothers, and we're all successful and not one complaint through our entire childhood. They said, work for what you need, work for what you're going to get, and you will get it. God placed talent in all of us, Black, white, whatever you may, call yourself, but God placed, all of these great things within us. Why should I now say, oh, well, a white person thinks this of me, or there's racism here and there? I don't think about that. I don't wake up every morning and have racism and all of these negative things on my mind.
Yep.
I move forward. I move past that.
All right, Sean, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this conversation and the term that we now hear.
And again, I was still thinking about your speech. The term we're talking about is Black. What was it again? It's
Fatigue.
Okay. So on Black fatigue, and coming from somebody, and I think I agree with her tremendously, having a school for 3 decades, was the first hip-hop dance school in the country. It's a cancer to tell a young kid that they're oppressed, that they're less than, and the world's against them. Right from the beginning, you're setting a standard by which they have to overcome something, when really you need to put God in them and tell them how great things are for them.
Amen.
So I was never around Black people to complain. All the actors and dancers I was around, they had a sense of purpose. They were dynamic, and they never complained. So to me, it's really what I get is in social media is a lot of white people complaining and creating this problem, saying, look, watch out. These people are in trouble. I'm like, back off.
Mm-hmm.
Let them create their own destiny.
Absolutely.
So I don't see that as being the Black issue. I see more of a liberal white situation when they're not even in a position to complain or talk about it. They're virtue signaling, and it drives us nuts.
Okay.
Dr. Jones?
The conversation that we're having here is whether Black fatigue is a real thing. But the problem is that the reason this topic has come back up is because of the viral video that recently came out of the woman that called a 5-year-old autistic kid the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And then she raised $700,000 by a Christian organization. And I am Christian as well. So I just want to put that out there as well. And she raised $300,000 from another organization. I don't know if she actually got that money. But then this video from the person who originally started putting this on TikTok came out in reference to that.
Yeah.
Now, I am a first generation American as well. And I was taught a certain way as well. But
the reason that kicked off is because, let's put it simply, a white kid was killed by a Black kid who then received over $500,000 and bailed out of jail, which caused everybody to see just how ridiculous things are becoming, where you can murder a child in school because you were told to get up. It doesn't matter what. You're not even supposed to have a knife in school. You murdered somebody, stabbed them in the heart, and you were rewarded with over $500,000. That's the state of our society. That may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. We shouldn't be rewarding these behaviors, period. From her, it's very simple to say, I don't condone what happened in either case. End of story. Do I understand why it's happening? Sure. Do I understand where Black fatigue's coming from? Sure. Do I condone this? No. Personally, you guys know where I stand on the issue. This has always been a class issue. It's a rich versus poor, the haves versus have-nots. Skin color is just another way for them to divide us. And unfortunately, society is so screwed up right now, we can't afford anything. We're all starving. Jobs don't exist. The rich keep getting richer. They're getting tax breaks. It's getting harder for us to live day to day. We're trapped like caged animals, and we got no way out. So what do? We'll blame each other. We'll start to blame our neighbors. We'll blame that guy because his skin color. We'll blame that woman because she's just a woman. The woman will blame the man. We'll start to form our own tribal communities. We'll start to live in different areas. We won't interact with each other. We're completely separated from one another. We then even get separated from who you used to call friends, those that look like you, because maybe one's a liberal, one's a conservative, right? Same skin color, same type of man or woman, doesn't matter. So now we're isolated so much that the powers to be rule freely without any issue any uprising, any challenge to their authority. Welcome, folks. We're all being conned. This is a major charade. We're all falling for it. I don't condone this racism shit. I understand we're all different. We all have different capabilities down to the individual. And before I get lost in the sauce here, actually, one second, I wanted to find a video. Here we go. So this guy's got a really great explanation on what the fatigue is. And I'll play it for you guys.
Black fatigue. This video might make you uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. There's a growing sentiment, most recently, of individuals who are proclaiming they do have black fatigue. And you don't have to be a non-black person to have black fatigue. What does that phrase actually mean? Essentially, black fatigue is a growing weariness of the actions of the quote unquote black community. But it goes deeper than that because we are in 2025 now, and we are being judged based on the content of our character and not the color of our skin. But the interesting part is, the lie that's been sold to the black community in particular is that the color of our skin dictates the content of our character. That's why in the black community, sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, you are acting white when they're talking to someone like myself who doesn't act the way most people would expect a conventional black person to act. In their minds, there is a correct way to act black. And the people in your ethnic group who fulfill those very negative stereotypes, those are the ones who are going to essentially drag down the collective whole. And that's why there's individuals who are black who do and can have black fatigue, because they see how damaging it is to see the worst of us attract all this negative attention that then unfortunately gets ascribed to the entire race all too often. But what's unfortunate is here in 2025, now we have to contend with the fact that there's people who are so sick and tired of seeing those negative aspects, those negative individuals in the black community attracting all this attention. That's what is spurring this black fatigue. I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And until we turn inward and address the issues in our own communities, I fear that this is only going to continue and get worse. And that's exactly what the powers that be want. They want to have us against each other instead of us against those who are really pulling the strings in the background.
100%. In full agreement. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. As usual, appreciate you for tuning in.